Welcome to the Wild About Turkey Hunting podcast, a show for those who love the thrill of that first morning gobble, who love sharing the outdoors with a close friend, and for those who never want to stop learning about this awesome ritual we call spring turkey hunting. I'm Josh Davis, host and creator of the YouTube channel Davis Family Hunts. I'm wild about turkey hunting, and I bet you are too. Thanks for joining. Let's get started. You want to become a better turkey hunter, don't you? I know that I do, and I think we all do. And I haven't met anybody who has this entire turkey hunting thing figured out and just goes into the woods and returns successful every single time. But I do know several turkey hunters who have boosted their success rate simply because they never stop learning. And it's true that the more knowledge and experience that you acquire, the more you can apply. When you've got a deeper toolbox to pull ideas and tactics from, the more successful you'll be in the pursuit. So welcome to the very first episode of the Wild About Turkey Hunting podcast. My name is Josh Davis, and I've spent more than 30 years chasing wild turkeys, and I love it. And in no way do I consider myself an expert, but I do consider myself a never-ending learner. My father and I have been diving headfirst into the world of spring turkey hunting since the early 90s, and we figured out what makes time in the field so special. And now we enjoy sharing these experiences and these passions and these skills with our growing generations of family and close friends. We're always ready to help share what we've learned from our pursuit, and we never want to stop learning. And I believe my success has increased over the years because I was willing to learn more through reading and watching and having in-the-woods experiences with turkeys. And as a believer in Jesus, I found that my faith journey is very similar. The more I learn, the greater the pursuit gets. There are several hunting podcasts out there, but very few of them are exclusively dedicated to turkey hunting. And of those few, an even smaller percentage of those are full of useful hunting content. Now, don't get me wrong, that there are some really great ones out there, like the Turkey Hunter podcast. Andy and Cameron do a great job, and I've personally spoken with Andy on the phone before, and he's very knowledgeable, and he has a ton of helpful information. Another great podcast is Devin Alt's Spurred Outdoors, and he's covered a lot of useful state-by-state content for traveling turkey hunters. And these guys have given me the inspiration to create quality content that any learning turkey hunter can benefit from. Because what I found is that the majority of turkey hunting podcasts are really just some guys sitting around and talking about their weekend hunt at their local hunt club. And it's actually just more stories than it is useful information. I even tried to listen to a New to Me podcast not long ago, and I was almost 20 minutes into the broadcast before they even started talking about turkeys. And that just didn't cut it for me. If I'm listening to a turkey hunting podcast, then I want content from which I can learn to be a better turkey hunter. I wanted to create a show that was full of practical information and was shared in a reasonable amount of time. And I know most podcast listeners are tuning in on their commute to work or while they do some yard work, so I'm going to try to keep my episodes to a noteworthy length. Podcast episodes will be released every other Tuesday, so to help you remember when new episodes will drop, just remember that the Wild About Turkey Hunting podcast is available on Turkey Tuesday. So first of all, I would be so encouraged if you would subscribe to this podcast on whichever podcast platform you like most, which is probably the one that you're listening to right now. Subscribing lets me know that you're listening and that you, like me, want to keep growing in the pursuit. Through Season 1, I'm going to be covering several great topics like the best place to find turkeys during different parts of the day, the practical tips for successfully bow hunting turkeys, some of the top items to carry in your vest that you may have never even considered, and how to hunt gobblers that play hard to get. We'll have a few interviews with my dad, who taught me how to hunt, who's been my partner in learning how to turkey hunt from the beginning, and who's a great hunter in his own right. This season, we'll also learn from some hardcore turkey hunters who have a bunch of wisdom to share. And then we'll even tap into a conversation with a newbie, which might just describe you. And he'll be asking these same questions that you may be thinking and too embarrassed to ask and didn't know where to turn to for answers. And I'd love to hear from you too. If you want to submit a question to be answered on my podcast, I encourage you to go to davisfamilyhunts.com/podcast and leave a recorded voice message for me. We'll select a question to cover during a future show. If we use your question in the show, then we'll send you a small gift pack, which will include some stickers and some other special items for your next hunt. I'm looking forward to sharing more with you in the next episode, in which we will cover 7 mistakes that turkey hunters need to learn from to yield more success this season. And I can honestly say that I've been guilty of several of these blunders over the years. Learn with us on how we can avoid these errors the next time that you're in the turkey woods. And since you've made it this far, allow me to give you a sneak peek at 2 of those 7 mistakes that we'll cover in the next episode. The first is overcalling. Too much calling is probably the most common mistake that any turkey hunter can make. And who can blame them? Because hearing that turkey gobble is the thing that drives us to do what we do. To get up at horrific hours in the night just to be in the woods at daybreak. To trek across miles of countryside in a single morning. And to push our physical abilities to the max. We love the turkey gobble. I know that I love hearing turkeys gobble. But I've got to resist the temptation of hearing my own voice. And this is very easy to do, to overcall, especially when you become more confident and comfortable in your ability to call. Overcalling could be a mistake, though. It can cause a bird to clam up and hold his ground, waiting for you to come to him. It can also draw in unwanted attention from another hunter, or a real hen, or a predator who would love to have a turkey dinner. And the more chatter that is going on out there between you and that tom, the more you can alert unwanted guests. But how much is too much? I think each scenario defines the need, and we'll cover more of that in the next episode, and I'll also give you a tip to help you see if you are an overcaller. The second mistake that we commonly have is shooting mishaps. Turkey hunt long enough and you'll find that things go wrong at the moment that you want to take that shot. It could be that you didn't load your gun properly, and you hear that haunting click when you pull the trigger. Maybe it's small trees that just seem to disappear and end up eating up your shot pattern, allowing that gobbler to live another day. Sometimes you can misjudge distances. That bird was too far away for an ethical shot, or the bird was so close that you missed him because your shot pattern was only about the size of a golf ball when you shot it at him. There are many more things too, like not keeping your head down on the gun. And with today's modern sight options, there are some real blunders that you can face. And I'll give you a secret to always being prepared to make the shot. But you'll need to tune into the next episode to hear this and the 5 other errors that you should avoid this hunting season. In the meantime, I invite you to check us out on our YouTube channel, Davis Family Hunts, which covers everything from turkey vocalizations to our experiences of hunting with kids. We'd love for you to subscribe so that you can watch more of our turkey hunting content. And it would also be our privilege for you to follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Just search for Davis Family Hunts on either platform. You can keep up with our latest activities, and we would love to interact with you there as well. And as I mentioned before, you can also check us out directly at davisfamilyhunts.com, and I'll leave links in the description for you. And while you're there, be sure to subscribe to our newsletter so you can gain access to insider information and be entered in our giveaway of a custom call package, which we will send out to one lucky winner. So after this episode is over, be sure to use the link in the description and head over to davisfamilyhunts.com and connect with us. Whether it's turkey hunting or building on your relationship with Jesus Christ, the more you know, the more you can apply in your experiences, and the more it improves you. The better we get at it, the more we can enjoy it. I hope you enjoy your next opportunity in God's great outdoors. The pursuit is wild. Never stop learning.